Radiant team ban.
And we're back with our final game of the night. It's Team Dignitas versus Insight Esports. Of course, this is the second game of a doubleheader. In the first game, Dignitas looked dominant because, in fact, they were. They were able to take a decisive victory in a rather quick fashion. We'll see if they can replicate that success or if Insight are going to find the fight inside of them to get things going. They switch up a couple players between games once again. Maybe this is the new set that can get things going in a positive fashion for them. Insight are looking for their first victory of the tournament. Surely on a quest to get one win. Make sure they don't get winless. They don't want to be like the Dolphins of, well, I don't know what year the Dolphins went winless. Don't want to be like the Lions. Don't want to be like those bad teams that go winless. So Insight are looking for a win, desperately looking for a win. It's a tall ask to try and get it against Dignitas, but they'll try and do it here. As we see bans fly out early, it's going to be the Wisp band out as well as the Gyrocopter band out. Hint, hint, those are two heroes that played a key role in absolutely destroying Insight last game in the part of Dignitas. We saw Snaking with 982 gold per minute on that Gyrocopter, which is pretty ridiculous. And he did opt to go for that early Rapier, and the Rapier did its job, getting Dignitas the victory. Bans from Dignitas are, in fact, the Batrider and the Lifestealer. So we're looking for a first pick from Insight here. Do they go for the Treant? Or do they opt for one of the other available options? Darkseer is in the pool. Do Dignitas take Darkseer plus Jakiro right now? Nature's Prophet picked up as that first pick from Insight. So Nature's Prophet, of course, a solid hero. I think that's the best way to describe him. He's good at a lot of things. He's a very versatile, good utility hero. Can definitely benefit your team greatly if he gets going in a meaningful way. Can also come back if he has a slow start. Some good features. There's the Darkseer. Is this the Jakiro? Dignitas' patented opening. We know they love Darkseer. We know Universe loves Darkseer. He plays a really mean one. And are they going to throw Solace or Way Too Sexy on a Jakiro for that natural 1-2 punch? I'm feeling it, but I don't know if Dignitas are feeling it right now. They're thinking and waiting a moment. And while we have a moment, I want to remind you that this is the American Dota League. Dignitas versus Insight Esports. This is our fifth and final game of the day. So I want to thank everyone that's been with us for the entirety of the day. I know there have been some great games. There have been some not so great games, but it really means a lot to us if you stick it through and are able to watch all the games and support the ADL through and through. So to you Ironmen of the stream, to you stream fiends, I applaud you. And thank you for sticking with us. Leshrac is going to get picked up by Dignitas, so they don't go with the Jakiro, who I really, really thought they would have went with. Instead, it's the Leshrac, and it's an early Leshrac. I always say the Jakiro's early from Dignitas, but the Leshrac is just as early, and now Insight are going to pick up the Visage. Visage, phenomenal support hero, of course. Leshrac, a good support hero, but you can usually get him at a value buy later. But draft continues on. Dignitas looking for a third ban here. They can take out a carry if they want to take out a mid option. Both of those are available. They can take out some of the other supports. Shadow Demon would be one option to get rid of just because of his ability to work pretty well with that Visage, unless, of course, Dignitas want to get the Shadow Demon to work with their Leshrac, in which case they'll probably leave him available in the pool. Reminder that Fogged is the one sitting out tonight for Dignitas. I'm not sure where he is, if he has prior commitments or something. But Solace is in place of him. And if you haven't watched the earlier games, I'm going to ask you to mute your mic for a minute here because I'm going to reference Dignitas' earlier game, which was against Liquid. And Dignitas actually came up short. So despite the huge amount of success they had last game against Insight, they're going to need to really get things going against the North American competition. They have more losses in this competition than EG, of course, who have 0, and more losses than Liquid, who now have 2. They really need to start getting going if they want to be effective come playoffs time. And we mentioned before, they have a bunch of games to go. If they drop a couple, they can end up in one of those tough matchups. They could be Arctic in the first round. I mean, you could ask EG, you can ask Liquid, you can ask Dignitas. I guarantee you none of them want to play Arctic in that first round because Arctic are legit. They've been playing really well. Arctic, of course, now known as Denial Esports, I believe. They're playing really well. Good Dota. And taking down a lot of big name teams along the way. We see some bans come out. It's going to be Anti-Mage taken out by Dignitas, and Insight decide to take out this puck. That puck. So Dignitas opting to ban out a carry. Insight go for a solo. We'll see what the response is here. Dignitas looking for a second ban. Do they ban out another carry? Do they want to take out something like... Well, they already have taken out the Lifestealer and the Anti-Mage, so... Maybe Juggernaut here? Wouldn't be too bad of an idea, I guess. Do they want to go for that? Or do they want to opt to ban out some of the other solo laners? Maybe. If they feel like they can get a good matchup mid, they want to ban out the OD just because he's a possibility. Of course, OD, as of late, not having quite as much success as he did prior. They're going to take out the Treant, which... Thank you, Dignitas. No Treant in this game. Not that he did all too much last game. Sorry. Shots fired at Inside Esports. But it's better that he's not involved. Dignitas are a team I actually haven't seen them run Treant to my memory. I don't know if they really like that hero. I could see a lot of teams not liking the Treant just because of the position to put your lanes in. So I don't think that's a knock on the hero. I think everyone knows he's a powerful hero. But some teams just are going to opt against that because it is kind of a pickle it throws you into sometimes. I don't know. Maybe they have run it. Someone can probably prove me wrong. But I know they really like their Jakiro. They prefer some of those other supports over it. Now we do see the final ban of that phase is going to be the Shadow Demon, so taken out by Insight. That was a hero that maybe Dignitas wanted. They can also opt for the Bane here if they'd like and have that good synergy between the Bane and the Lashrak and be going with that purple-blue theme yet again. Which purple-blue theme, I mean, if your whole team is purple-blue, you're usually winning games. I don't have any statistical data to back that up, but I'm going to say it. The reserve time from Dignitas is counting down rather quickly. They're down to 23 seconds left. So looking for a hero here. Do they want to go for the Bane? Do they want to go for a Dragon Knight? I think Dragon Knight as a mid option would be pretty good. They're going to go for a Sand King instead, though. So Sand King and Leshrak has its own little bit of synergy, and we've seen what Sand Kings can do. I believe it was net on Sand King earlier in the day, much earlier in the day, as we're hitting later stages of the night. It was net... I think Net plays for Orange, and he was just hitting epicenters, and they were phenomenal. That's the Alienware Cup, I believe. But if you haven't seen that, you should be sure to go ahead and look at that after you watch this game and watch all of the American Dota League games in client. So you have a long night ahead of you. You have to actually watch every single replay before you can go back and reference that. But Sand King is a beast of a hero, and he's definitely making his way back into the scene. We've seen teams like Dignitas, teams like EG, and teams like Arctic all pick him up on a more frequent basis because of the fact that initiation is at a premium. And being able to get that through a 4-role hero, it can be huge for your team. And now look at what Dignitas has already in 3 heroes. Sand King, Leshrak, and Darkseer. Vacuum in, have Epicenter. If the Epicenter gets off, it's dealing a lot of damage. Leshrak can get off a stun, chain it up. Queen of Pain picked up now by Dignitas. Probably going to be a Snake King Queen. We saw that really suffer earlier, but that was because there was a Treant in play, and it was matched up against the Puck. Puck won't be in this game, as it's already been banned out by Insight. It's going to be up against the Templar Assassins. So, Quat versus TA. Tale as old as time. Queen of Pain does pretty well in the matchup, of course. TA can hold her own. Now Insight looking for their 4th pick, already having their middle and their off lane. They want to add either another support or a carry here. Do they want to add the Juggernaut as the carry? Do they want to put a Luna into the mix? Both of which pretty valid options. There's still Alchemist available as well. And having that minus armor with the TA in play could be big for them. Having that acid spray on top of the Meld Strike could really hurt somebody. They go for the Jakiro. Dignitas' usual favorite support to put up with the Darkseer. Jakiro taken away from them, even though Dignitas already has their supports. And the ban's going to be the Phantom Lancer, so no one wants to deal with a Phantom Lancer. It doesn't look like it would come out here. It could, but no one wants to deal with it anyway. So the ban from Dignitas is pretty straightforward. And now Insight. What do they want to ban out? This last hero from Dignitas is going to be A carry in all likelihood. Is it the Juggernaut? Is it the Luna? Is it the Alchemist? Something you're putting with a Sanking and a Leshrac. It doesn't really need a stun to deal a lot of damage. It's a pretty good lane. Could be something like a Razor. It could be a Mirana. They could chain off these abilities and play similarly to what Liquid did earlier. So Insight are looking for their 5th ban. There's a whole lot of heroes that it could be. This is a tough ban to make. Pick your least favorite and just roll with it. Insight are going to drop into the reserve time actually to make sure they get the right choice here. If you're just tuning in, or if you've been tuning in all day, which is probably more likely the case, I'm NY John. I've been casting the games today for the ADL, standing in for Mont as well as standing in for AC, who's the usual caster, but of course he has D2L conflicts, which get in the way. And the Mirana pick is there. So I listed off like 5 heroes, and it was one of them. So I'm on point right now. We'll take that as a small victory for me. Weaver was banned out by Insight, and now final pick from Insight. What do they want to add? What is their carry? They want to bring in this Juggernaut? I say go for the Juggernaut. He can dodge some of this magical damage coming out. Queen of Pain, Sanking, Leshrac, even Mirana. Lots of magical damage. You want a hero that doesn't have to really worry about that as much? Juggernaut's my pick. As I was saying, been casting the games all day. It's been a pleasure to bring the games to you. In return, the only thing I ask is that you make sure to tune into future events and maybe follow us on Twitter at American Dota, at NYJohnTV. Follow us on the Twitch as well. It's not a big ask. You can make up a new Twitter account and just follow them and then never open it again. That's fine. In fact, that's probably amazing. Of course, I would love to talk to you someone on Twitter. Maybe after this game, I'll try and talk to some of you in chat. It's going to be a Juggernaut pick. It's the right choice from Insight. Insight's lineup actually looks pretty well-rounded. And I like it a lot better than the previous 2 games. We'll see if they can work with this. Can Insight find their first victory of the American Dota League? Or will they end up winless? I think they have one more game after this game left in forever. So it's getting down to the grind in terms of trying to find that win. And Dignitas are certainly not looking to be the victim of a huge upset of that magnitude. We're in the game now, changing the overlays. And we're getting ready to go. The second game of the doubleheader. The first game, surprise, surprise, goes to Dignitas. This game, Insight with a much more cohesive lineup. Look to try and bring the fight to Dignitas. As Dignitas need this victory. They need to stay towards the top of that pack. And we're going to go over who's playing what for each team. For Dignitas on our Dire team, we have Snaking playing the Queen of Pain. We have Way Too Sexy on the Leshrac. Looks like Solace will be playing the Sanking. I say Solace, you say Solus. I kind of do both. So we'll just roll with whichever one comes off the top of the tongue. Not going to make a big deal of it. And he is a phenomenal stand-in. Add him to the list of top stand-ins in North American Dota. Meanwhile, AUY 2000 will be on Mirana as we have a pause come up. It is from the Radiant. Universe will be playing Darkseer, and that is our Dire team Dignitas. Let's check out our pings quickly here, see if anything's really out of control. Looks like everything's well within the range of South American ping. So hopefully this pause won't be for too very long. Meanwhile, on the flip side, Insight.Avell Esports. They're our Radiant team. We have Kraus playing the Juggernaut. We have Not on Jakiro. Looks like Plock will be playing the Visage, which is a little bit of a change. He's been playing carries so far today. So they're mixing everything up. They're mixing players. They're mixing roles. Really doing whatever they can. Moon Madness will be playing the Nature's Prophet. And we have Dami, we'll go with Dami, on Templar Assassin. And those are our teams. About to stage a huge battle. I want to give a shout out to everyone that's followed me on Twitter throughout the course of the day today. I have now eclipsed 100 followers and it feels oh so good. It's like a weight has been lifted off my shoulder. I feel like people look at your Twitters and when you have less than 100, they're like, not worth following. But Now I don't have to worry about that. Now I have to worry about the people that are like, oh, less than 1,000, not worth following. But either way, you guys have been awesome. It's been a lot of fun casting these games for you. I think I'll be back eventually with some ADL games whenever substitute is needed, or perhaps a co-caster in the future. And the ready call is up, so we'll be go. Insight versus Dignitas. Ready to start it off right. This bottom lane for Universe is not the toughest lane, but not the easiest lane either. There's an Ice Path in play. It's a Grave Chill for the slow. Juggernaut's going to have trouble keeping up with him to really output the damage, though. So I think Universe is going to do pretty well down here. Meanwhile, the top lane, ooh, that's a big ask. Nature's Prophet might just head straight for the jungle. In fact, he's sitting on a Bassi as well as a Clarity. So I think this is straight for the jungle, and we do hear AUI complaining about ping a little bit. So it's a slight issue for him. He had an issue earlier as well, sitting around 230 ping or something like that. So I'm not sure if it's the server, if it's him, but either way, hopefully he'll work that out and he'll be fine. Dignitas going to find an early illusion rune, and think about ganking this mid right off the get-go. The Universe is rotated up. He's going to go to the jungle first. So it's a tri lane I think he could have done decently against, but he's not even going to risk it. He's going to go to the jungle or come in. It's going to be a 4-man gank on middle. If you were in a pub game, this is what would really drive you crazy. Tommy's up in the river. He's just trying to run away now. Poor guy. Salas is trying to get him range for the sun. He's catching up. The move speed on Sand King is better than that of the move speed on Templar Assassin, mostly because of the fact that Sand King went first item boots, and now Templar Assassin gets caught off. There's a nice bet to try and save him, but it won't be enough. Templar Assassin pops out the refraction. One more attack will do the job, and first blood comes out for Sand King. Vroom, vroom, vroom. Here comes the boots first Sand King. Spells doom for Dami. Universe has opted to go towards the jungle, and now these supports are going to rotate back towards the top lane where they'll help out their buddy AUI 2000 on that Mirana as he continues to farm. Bringing up our last hits, we see on the bottom lane, Juggernaut has done a good job so far. He's made sure he's hit all of them. Looks like that's pretty perfect. So it's going to be important. I've always feel it's important for Juggernaut. Definitely get up his CS. Definitely get something going early. Whatever boots he wants to go, get his drums, but then start to really make an impact on the game. And it's going to be the case in this game as well, especially with that first blood coming out in the middle lane. It gives a lot of control to Queen of Pain. She's not up in experience by that much, but she does have 1 assist, so she has a little bit more monies. And has opted to spend a lot of money. In fact, gets a null talisman, so not going to go for the really early bottom. And misses one last hit with a scream there. It's a little bit unfortunate. Meanwhile, top lane, AUI is just pushing the lane out a little bit. We see Moon Madness has come in to farm under the tower. He's almost level 3. And he rotated his way up from the jungle where he had started. Because of course that's a lot safer. Take a look at an early net worth graph, and it shows us because of that first blood gold that Sand King is absolutely killing it. So Salas, we talked about him being a super support. He's really happy with where he is right now. And these last hits are just going the way of Mirana. Even with the low base damage, she's getting some breaks under the tower. Bottom lane, Kraus is super aggressive. He's just going to go ahead and spin on this whole wave. And this might mean they want to push. If they don't want to push, they're going to push anyway. Meanwhile, middle lane, Nature's Prophet comes in. They got a kill on Queen of Pain. My bad for not seeing that. Queen of Pain goes down. Templar Assassin, Prophet, as well as, it looks like Jakiro was in the mix. Level 1 Jakiro with level 1 Ice Path is able to get a kill onto Snake King. So Snake King's Queen of Pain, some would say, was on full tilt earlier today. He's not looking to replicate that in this game. But the best start we've seen from Insight. And here it comes again. Moon Madness from the back end. Snake King taking a lot of damage. He's going to go ahead and try and blink away. He's 1 hit from death. Playing it really confident. Not going to blink yet. And there's the blink. He blinks across the river. And he'll be safe this time. But almost another death for Snake King. Almost catastrophic. As we head back to our last hits, we can see on the bottom lane, or excuse me, in the jungle. That's Universe doing pretty well, getting the last hits in the jungle. It's a little bit skewed in terms of the numbers, but he's definitely happy with himself. Juggernaut's farming better than Mirana right now. So that's pretty good. In middle lane, we see Queen of Pain is beating this Templar Assassin pretty hard, up by 8 CS. There's a lot of harass coming out from Snake King. He's really low on health, but a bottle's coming out to him right now. He's going to probably think about jumping onto Dami right now as his refraction's going to run out. But Dami does get to the high ground. Meanwhile, Way Too Sexy's behind the trees. He's going to see Moon Madness. An arrow sounded like it flew off, but I don't know what it hit. Here comes Solace. He's going to go for the stun. He catches Moon Madness here. Chain stun is there with the split earth. And nice kill. Well executed by Dignitas as they're able to take down Nature's Prophet under his own tier 1 tower. Turn around. Maybe they want to push this a little bit. Yep, Way Too Sexy going to pop off the Diabolic Edict. And the tower is going to start going down. Meanwhile, bottom lane, the push is on for Insight as they're working on this tier 1. Tier 1's dropping down below 300 health. And it's going to be a trade. Tier 1 for tier 1. Glyph is still available for Dignitas. They want to delay it a little bit, but why waste the Glyph? TP response is coming up top lane. Dami's going to get stunned off instantly. He's going to be chained with the split earth once again. He's in a little bit of trouble. AUI is going to try and get an arrow. It looks like he shot the arrow, but at point blank range. Didn't really take some time to get a better duration. I don't know if they would have got the kill otherwise, but they're going to get this tower shortly. Deny attempts are both going to miss. Marana gets the tower last hit. Stun comes in from Solace. He's going to back up. AUI on the side is going to put some pressure onto Moon Madness, but he doesn't have much mana at all. He has 1,500 gold in the bank. Probably going to go towards his own Midas. Meanwhile, bottom lane continued to push out Cross. Work on this tier 2. This is a good look for Insight. Rotation comes down from Way Too Sexy and Universe. They're both going to join the mix down here. Continue to work on these towers. Snaking in the middle lane is going to apply some pressure to the tower himself. He's got a double damage up. He's level 6 now. His CS 28 and 11 against 8 and 5. Really winning this middle lane. And Moon Madness has to be careful. It's a hero and Queen of Pain, of course, that can dive and get a quick bursty kill on top of Nature's Prophet. Bottom lane, we see Universe backing up. Trying to be very careful down here, as a couple heroes have made their way into the lane for the side of Insight. Is level 6 up? No, Juggernaut not 6 yet. There's no Omni Slash in play. So that's going to be a big factor for them. We see 3 heroes grouping up behind the towers. So, not going to involve the carries. They're going to try and do it themselves. 2 supports and an off-laner in Darkseer. Going to try and reap havoc on this bottom lane. It's going to be tough. It's all magic damage going up against the Juggernaut. And they're actually just going to rotate through. They're going to go towards middle. They were spotted off by a ward that was just expiring here anyway, so probably wouldn't have panned out. Now TP middle from Visage is going to be ready for the assault. This is going to be an interesting encounter. Moon Madness is spotted off first. Solace is going to think about stunning him. Here comes the stun. It's going to be chained up. Way Too Sexy with the split earth. It's enough to kill off Moon Madness instantly. And there's a big soul assumption. Going to take Way Too Sexy down to half health. They do use the ultimate from Marana to keep everyone safe. Now Cross gets killed before he can even pop off a spin because of the fact that this whole team was invisible and synchronized their attack. Beautiful plays from Dignitas, playing the beautiful game, the split earth. Okay, not so beautiful anymore, but nonetheless, they'll get the kill on Jakiro. Split earth didn't even have to land. So, Dignitas now at 5-1 over Insight. And they'll rotate back towards the middle lane. Supports are all 3 supports get stunned by 1 centaur. Well, I call Darkseer support. I mean utility, but you know what I mean. He's not getting that much farm. All 3 get stunned by 1 centaur. That centaur is super clutch. Insight should try and recruit him. Maybe get a helmet of Dominator, get him in some of these team fights. Domi towards the top lane. AUI's up here. He's farming. He decides not to go for a Midas, which I thought he may have won for because he was saving up so much money. But instead, it looks like Domi's going to be the aggressor jumping on top of AUI. AUI not particularly scared. We see the Meld Strike not dealing too much damage. Let's see how aggressive AUI wants to be with this. And since the Star Pole doesn't land, I don't think he'll press any further. Middle lane, we look at this tower dropping down pretty low. Snaking getting hit by some of the tower hits. Not the best situation, but the tower is going to die one way or another. Deny attempts are going to come in from some of the players from Inside. It's not enough. Oh, it is. Nature's Prophet with the invisible animation that I couldn't find. Oh, it was on the Treants. The Treants got the deny. And that makes your day really sad when the Treants get denied. There's an Omni Slash on Universe, but he surges away. In Universe, you could see such a veteran. Pops off his buckler, gets a little bit of extra armor, maybe even made the difference. May have kept him alive. AUI in the top lane is up against Dami. Dami's just trying to find some CSs. He hasn't been able to all game. He's 18-8 at 8 minutes in. We do see regen picked up by Queen of Pain. Now Dami behind is going to hide a little bit here. He gets hit by the second part of the Starfall. Sentry is down as well. Way Too Sexy is going to get a last hit. Nope, it goes to Snaking as he rotates in, and now he'll pop off his regen rune. No big deal. Universe on the bottom lane is going to push this out as well. He has the Iron Chill up, and it's going to be working towards the tower. Tower isn't taking any damage yet. He does have company up here in the form of Kraus on that Juggernaut, but Juggernaut's probably needed elsewhere as his team is definitely lacking damage. especially with TA dead, and now blink in, and a Sonic Wave is going to catch this Visage. Visage taking a whole lot of damage. Starfall is there. It's going to get a kill for Mirana onto Visage, and Queen of Pain's going to get the kill onto Jakiro. 8-1 lead. Dignitas over Insight. Insight trying to fight for their first victory of the American Dota League. It's just not coming easily. And you feel for them, really, because they've been a great team, great sports. We saw great sportsmanship earlier in terms of wishing everyone good luck, have fun, be amazing, blah, 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 blah. Kraus is going to go ahead and jump on Universe here. They show up to every game, even when they're playing with 3 or 4 stand-ins. Kraus is getting dove here. Universe is going to go ahead and pile on the hurt. And there is a Wrath of Nature. Universe drops pretty low, but he's going to continue the dive. Nonetheless, going to get in range to finish off Kraus. He will. But the response is here. Nature's Prophet, Moon Madness. It's going to go on top of Universe. Universe is bottling up, though. This could be a turnaround, and support is coming. Here comes the cavalry. We see in the side of the map that Snaking is making his way in. Universe with the super bait. Snaking going to jump over and not actually make it into a fight. A little bit anticlimactic, I'll be honest. And now we do see a Shadow Strike come out. Mellowed Strike is going to come in return. Strikes exchanged everywhere, and there's the Split Earth. He's going to finish off Dami once again. 10-1, Dignitas in the advantage. Now the Tier 1 is going to be focused down. We have the Edict popping off. It's going to deal some damage to this Tier 1 tower, and behind the tower, we have Snaking looking to pile the hurt on to whomever he can find. In fact, he's going in way too deep in the Soul Assumption, plus some auto attacks is going to net them a kill. And Denai's going to come out. Both players eager to deny that Visage, it seemed. A little bit too eager. But either way, it was the right play to get that deny. And I think a buyback came out immediately from Queen of Pain. So Snaking not going to waste any time. He's going to get right back into the fray. Meanwhile, Mirana. Seer's business up top. He continues to farm well. Blade of Alacrity's coming out to him. We also see a Salve. His new laning opponent is apparently Kraus and the Juggernaut. This Juggernaut with Omni Slash is somewhat dangerous for Mirana. It's still an early game Mirana, only at 815 health. Juggernaut, he's gotten decent CS. There's a Wrath of Nature that looks like it didn't really connect or did minimal damage. It's one of those instant click Wrath of Natures, but bottom lane, it's a 4 versus 3, excuse me. Solace now gets surged up, looking for the double stun. It hits! The Sonic Wave is on top of it, and an Epicenter to rub it in. Kills everywhere for Dignitas as they take down 2 seamlessly. Perhaps an unnecessary Epicenter, but we're not going to criticize Solace too much. He just wanted to be a hero. Meanwhile, that tower drops as well. 2 kills and a tower down bottom. 13-2 is the lead for Dignitas now in terms of kills. They're also up 4 towers to 1. Top lane AUI is going to throw off another Starfall that doesn't hit on Kraus. That's a little bit of a shame. Now Kraus is going to try and bully him out of the lane here. They're going to ping to get him going. Dami comes in. He's going to offer up some support. He's going to try and hit him with a trap. The slow is there. In for the back end is Moon Madness. The creep wave is rejecting Kraus a little bit. The invisibility is going to fly off. Can he juke? He jumps away. He gets sprouted. They know where he is. But the invisibility is going to keep him alive. Invisibility too strong. An arrow is going to fly. It's not going to hit on anybody. But in comes the support once again. Snaking is everywhere. The hasted Snaking jumping on top of Kraus. Kraus going to get slowed off here. He's trying to bait Snaking back so he can get an Omni Slash. But will the Omni Slash even be enough? It's not even going to be able to come out as Snaking's going to finish him off with the help of Solace on the side. Another couple kills chained off from Dignitas there. Dignitas not looking to give up anything easy to Insight. They've only died twice so far this game. Both deaths on Snaking. One of which a well-executed gank on Insight. You got to give him props. The second of which, very overzealous dive by Snaking, which, you know, being this far ahead, having a Dagon, you can take some liberties. And here it is. Jump on top of Moon Madness. There's a scream. There's a couple auto attacks. There's a Wrath of Nature. Snaking's taking a little bit of damage in return. Here come the Familiars. He's going to blink into the trees. He's stuck a little bit. This would actually be a nice kill for Visage if he can make his way over here, but he didn't chase any further. And we see an Omni Slash is going to take down Leshrac. So Kraus venting a little bit, taking down Way Too Sexy with the Omni Slash. Way Too Sexy is away from his team, away from the creep wave. Kraus is not going to let that one go. Ice Pet's going to fly. It's not hitting anybody. Solace has an Epicenter in a couple seconds. He's going to look to actually try and hit someone with this. And there's a stun. It's going to connect on an AUI with one of the Familiars. The second Familiar just taking some free damage. Cross now charging in. I'm not sure if we've seen an arrow from Marana connect yet, other than the really close range one we saw earlier. Let's see. AUI got arrow skills. He's going to look towards the top lane where Dami is coming down. He did pick up a first item Yasha, which it's an interesting choice because we always talk about the fact that Marana lacks damage. Yasha doesn't give you that much damage. So, I mean, I know his team's been doing really well, but still a questionable choice in a normal game, in my opinion. Here comes an arrow. Will it connect? It will not, but the surge in, way too sexy, is going to deal a whole lot of damage. Solace comes in for the side. There's a couple kills. And now here comes Kraus. He's jumping in the middle with a spin. Invisibility is going to be popped off by Marana. It's going to allow them to disengage or re-engage as they please. But they did lose one hero in that mix, I believe. The third death of the game. Kraus is going to get chained off a couple times here. Solace is going to try and use the epicenter, but I think it got rejected. And Dami is going to be the last man standing, retreating back towards his base, as even the familiars are going to be killed off. Way Too Sexy is going to pop off the Edict. He's looking for stun. It's going to be short, as there was no communication between the vacuum and the split earth. And now a big Wrath of Nature takes the supports low on health. Snaking gets hit by an Ice Path here. He's dropping pretty low, blinks away. Templar Assassin gets a kill on Sand King. Insight trying to turn this around. The arrow's going to hit as he walks into it. Templar Assassin on full tilt Dota. And then the vacuum down. GG, well played call. And I would call GG if I walked into that arrow as well. But certainly Dignitas getting the better of Insight. Insight, in their quest to find a win in the ADL, fall short 3 times this evening. And Dignitas pick up a couple of victories on the back of a loss earlier in the day. So, be sure to head over to AmericanDotaLeague.com where you can check out the standings, check out the schedule, check out absolutely everything. Follow American Dota on Twitter. That's at American Dota. Follow them here on their Twitch. Buy a ticket for $5. I know I sound demanding, but it really is worthwhile. I'm helping you by trying to make you do these things. Trust me. If you liked what you saw tonight, I'm NY John. Follow me on Twitter at NYJohnTV. I want to once again thank everyone that's followed me throughout the course of the night. It has been a lot of fun, and we've got to see some really good games early and some fun stomps later on in the day. But either way, I enjoyed myself. So follow me at NYJohnTV on Twitter, and we'll keep in communication. I'm going to jump into the chat after the game. We can talk a little bit if you'd like to. And that's about all I have for you guys tonight. So shout out to the admins. Shout out to ADL for having me. And we'll see you whenever the next games are up. I think there are games tomorrow. But you can check that for yourself on the schedule at American Dota League. You can also check out Reddit, where there's usually a post. And we'd love if more people upvoted that. For some reason, we don't get enough love there. So be sure to check that out as well. I've asked you to do a lot of things. I'll now give you an opportunity to do them. Have a good night, guys.